Yeah, thank you. So this oil palm businesses along the coastline, so any standards, commonality possible between RSPO and MSC?
Well, regardless of where the plantation is, if you are a certified member, I mean, if you go for certification, you need to show that you don't pollute, you don't impact the environment around you. And I think that's key. It's regardless of where we are, regardless of where the certified unit is. So already I think that's a good way, in a way, to complement the work that MSC does or the ASC does.
Brad, any comments on that? You agree, okay. And there is another question in the end. Yes, number 7, please.
Yes, thank you. This question is for each of the panelists, other than Mr. Weber of RSPO. Do the civil societies, NGOs, attack or accuse your industry for causing deforestation and killing your local habitats like orangutans, your own place? Thank you.
So, Nick, you, orangutan,
maybe I'll start.
Maybe Augustine can take it up.
Orangutans in the soy production area, so it's easy to answer. But
forestry issue, actually. The protection of orangutan, so I think, Lister, you would be in a
at the end, all these principles and criteria and all this development of standards, the main beneficiaries of these standards shouldn't be the industry, shouldn't be the consumer or the producer. At the end is if it's legal compliance, it's the society. If it's labor, it's the workers. If it's environmental protection, it's the monkey, wherever it's an orangutan or a howler monkey of Amazon. Or if it's good agricultural practices, it's next generations. So all our standards should be focusing on who are the beneficiaries of what we are pursuing. And that's not a company trying to put the stamp of certification, and it's not a producer saying, I'm certified. At the end, the beneficiary of all our standards are not in the table. Are the monkeys, are the workers, and people who is even not knowing that we are doing this. So we shouldn't lose that focus, and we should keep attached to which are the mission and the vision of our roundtables. And it's not to put better images on the farm or in the chain or in the final consumer. It's whatever we are here for.
You would like to, Alistair, you would like to comment on it?
Our mission is to improve forest management, so forest protection, conservation of biodiversity is a key part of that. If your question's about whether we get attacked by civil society, we do. We have very regular stakeholder complaints, which is a very important part of how we keep ourselves credible. We have a very strong dispute resolution system, a very transparent one. If you look on our website, you can see a whole list of complaints about certified forests, and all of that is done in a very transparent way. And I think that's very important for keeping the system strong and making it get stronger. So we've had cases with biodiversity issues in Malaysia or Indonesia, potentially with orangutans, where a civil society group has said this forest should not be certified for XX reasons. And we've gone in, and with our systems, we've been able to address that particular complaint. So yes, it does happen, but also I think it makes the system stronger.
All right, there is one written question. We are already run out of time. Sorry about that, but I don't want to disappoint anybody. So this person, Audrey, asked, said, what and how do you measure the impact of certification? That look, this product is in this way different from the non-certified product. So maybe Brad, you can take it up.
Excellent question. I think we're all members or aspiring members of ISEAL, and one of the requirements of membership is that you measure your impact. It's a very hard thing to do. We've been working on it for some time, but we actually now are generating data about the environmental performance of certified fisheries and comparing them to the norm of non-certified fisheries, of the world's fisheries, and actually seeing that there is significant higher environmental performance on a number of the certified fisheries. We need to go deeper now and look at ecosystem and habitat impacts. But it's an obligation of all of our systems to do that, and it's very important.
All right. So last question, that number 4, I can give a chance, okay. But please be brief.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Peter Lim from Bumitama. Just 2 technical questions, short one.
Short one, okay.
One is as you know, planting oil palm peat has received a lot of anti-sentiment. I presume soybean as well as sugarcane are also planted on peat soil. What sort of, do they receive the same sort of anti-sentiment on planting on peat? The secondly is that I think soybean is genetically or partly genetically modified. Okay, I don't know, wonder whether there's a preference of a non-GM soybean versus genetically modified soybean, and how do you actually segregate these two? Thank you.
Okay, about peatlands, soy is not mainly planted on peatlands. There is not a risk. Wetlands is a risk because some wetlands have been transformed into soy plantations and is banned by our standard to transform or land use change of wetlands for planting soy. And about the technology, biotechnology, the RTRS has a neutral position towards technology. You can certify GM, non-GM, or organic soy. And of course, RTRS is what the members agree on and not what they disagree on. Inside the RTRS, there are different visions about the technology, but something that someone said before is this diversity on opinions, reaching a consensus that is a standard, and the 5 principles that we have make it more valuable, even when we have diversity of opinions in the technology issue. There are markets for non-GM, market for GM, market for organic, and we as RTRS, we are neutral to technology, so we are not in favor or against any of the technologies, and it's not in a discussion of the roundtable.
All right, thanks. So Daryl, will you like to have the last word as you enter the 2nd decade of the RSPO existence? A question for you finally, that any roadmap for RSPO and ISPO coordination, merger, and removal of overlaps, some definitive plans, so that we can have a single definitive standard rather than people running to both the organizations?
RSPO is all about collaboration, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders. So collaboration of any kind, any form, as long as it doesn't deviate us from our vision and mission, we're absolutely fine. I think we have come to terms with the fact that we are going to inspire others to come up with standards. That's fine too. At the end of the day, the market decides, the market differentiates. But if every one of these standards deliver to what we aspire to deliver, where we are positive for nature, positive for people, and positive for profits, I think we're in good stead.
All right, thanks, Daryl. We wish you well. That hope all the standards deliver. And we, on behalf of the audience, I thank all of you, and I wish that there will be greater collaboration between all these sustainability organizations, considering the commonalities which are there. Thanks, Daryl, Augustine, Alistair, Brad, and Nick. And after the food for thought, let's go for actual food. Thanks. A big round of applause for all the panelists.